In this video, I'm going to take a look at Python numbers and SymPy numbers and discuss them from an object-oriented programming perspective. The program in front of you is pretty straightforward. It's saying x is assigned 5. Now what I'd like to do is to show what goes on under the hood of Python when you have a program statement like this. The object-oriented nature of Python means that when you see statements like x is assigned 5, we have to straight away start thinking of classes. And the class that's coming into view now is the integer class of the built-in Python programming language. It's a class that allows you to generate, in this case, the number 5. And like all classes, we have data attributes and methods, where methods are the behaviors that can be applied to the objects that are created. And what's created here is the object 5. And x isn't the object. We'll see that x is an object reference that tells you where the 5 is inside the computer program. When this program statement x is assigned 5 is executed, what will happen? An object will be created that's based on the class, and you can see that object coming into view now. And you can see that this object has 5 here, which is taken from this position here in the assignment. Now, in this area, I like to think of the object having all of the methods, and these methods have been defined in the built-in integer class of Python. Let's now turn our attention to the x that appears in the program statement, and you can see I've brought it into view in the diagram. Now x is not the object. X is going to be the object reference. It tells you where the object is within the program, within the computer memory. And I like to think of it as labeling the object or pointing to the object, referencing the object. And that can be illustrated with the arrow that's appearing now. And you can see it's pointing to tell you where the object is. So to get at the object, you have to go via x, which points to the object, which references the object. So to recap, x is the reference. It points to where the object is. And the object is the instance. It's the instance of this class, where this class has been defined as a built-in class of the Python programming language. Turn your attention to the program, which currently is just x is assigned 5, and you can see I'm adding another statement, another line to the code. So I'll run this program and we'll see what is output, and you can see it appears now. And look carefully, you can see it's saying print x. So it's gone to x, which is telling it to go and have a look at the object. It gets this 5 and it puts it here. But we can also see that the print is printing the type of x. So it goes to x, which is pointing to this object, and it can see that this object was based on this class. So if you look here, it says class int, where int, the class int, was defined in the Python programming built-in module. So it's part of the Python programming language. It has nothing to do with SymPy. It's part of the Python programming language. So we can see that x is a reference to this object that is based upon this class. Moving on, you can see I'm now going to look at a computer program that uses SymPy. I've imported the SymPy module as SP, so the computer program is now able to use SymPy from within a Python programming language. And if you look to this line, you can see here that I'm creating the number 5, and it is using the integer class, and it is assigning the integer created to A. but we're going to have a look at this from the object-orientated viewpoint. And the first thing we need to consider is the fact that we're going to be looking at the class, which is coming into view now. Now, the class has the word integer here to distinguish it from the previous class we had, which had the word int here, because that class was defined within Python. This class is defined within SymPy, so it's an example of the SymPy integer class, completely different to the Python integer class, the one that comes with the Python language. Here we've imported SymPy in order to use its integers. And like all classes, you can see it's got data attributes and methods. So when this line executes, what's going to happen, we're going to have an object coming into view, as you can see here. Now, if you consider this object, you can see it's got 5 here, which is taken from this position in the program code. I again like to think of this area as being the methods of the object that were defined in the class. And of course, these methods will be different to the methods that appeared for the last program diagram we were looking at, because it was based on the int class, whereas this object is based upon the integer class of SymPy. Let's now turn our attention to the A of the program statement, and you can see that coming into view now. Now, this is the object reference to the object. You can think of it as labeling the object, or, as I often prefer, it points to where the object is in the computer program, the computer memory. Now, this A is an example of the reference, the object reference to the object. And this is the instance, this is the object, this is the instance of this class. Turn your attention to the computer program and you can see I'm adding another line. And what this line is going to do is to print out A and also print out the type of A. But let's walk through and see what this is actually doing by viewing the runtime, which you can see is coming into view now. So this print will print A. So we go to A, which is the reference to where the object is. This is the object, so this 5 is placed here. The print will also now print the type of A. So it goes to A, which points to this object, and of course this object was based on this class, which is partly obscured by the runtime. But the thing is, and the thing to note, is that this class is the class that was defined in the SymPy module. I will emphasize this difference on the next slide that's coming into view now. You can see I've essentially merged the last two programs. I'm importing SymPy because that's going to be used in the program. This is where I use the integer that belongs to the Python programming language, and this is where I use the integer that's defined in SymPy. So when this program executes, we will get the following runtime. And we can see that this is the printed output due to these two lines, and this is the printed output due to these two lines. And note, we've got class int here, which is the class defined by the Python programming language, and this is the class that was defined within the SymPy module. Let's move forward and consider the diagrams suitable to represent the program we're looking at. The first one is coming into view here, and what we can see when this executes, we will get an object being created that is an instance of this class, which is the class that's defined by the Python programming language, and X is the reference that points to the object. If we look at the next diagram, which appears here, you can see it looks pretty much the same, but there's a significant difference. You see, this class here is a different class to this one. But when you execute this, what you're going to get is this object, which is an instance of this class, and we can see that the reference is A, and it references this object. So although both diagrams look pretty similar, we have to appreciate the objects themselves are based on different classes, which means that this object uses the methods declared here, and this object uses the methods declared here, and they will be different because they are different classes. So the key to understanding the difference between these two diagrams, and hence the difference between a number in Python and a number in SymPy, is the fact that they do have different classes. This one is defined by Python, and this one is defined by SymPy. We could summarize this as follows. Both X and A are objects. More accurately, they are object references, but they belong to different worlds. X lives in Python's built-in number system, while A lives in SymPy's symbolic universe of mathematics. The key point is they are both integers, but they are different kinds of integers because they are based on entirely different classes. Let's draw up an analogy that might help us see the difference between these different integer objects. So let's move on to the next slide. I'll enter 5 into this calculator and multiply it by 3, pressing the equal sign to give us the result of 15. I've just demonstrated how you can use numbers to get a numeric result, and here I've done it with a calculator. Now you can do exactly the same thing in a Python program, and the variables you would use for this type of operation, albeit done in the Python programming language, would be to use the integer data type if you were dealing with whole numbers, like I've showed in this example of multiplying 5 by 3. And of course, these variables would be based upon the Python int class that comes with the core language of Python. It's part of the Python built-in library. Let's compare this with the type of mathematics you can do on a piece of paper. Here you can see I've got 5 that's going to be multiplying the content of brackets. So this 5 is going to multiply this x, and it's going to give me the value of 5x. Continuing, we can now say that the 5 is going to multiply this plus 2, and of course that's going to give me plus 10 here. So let's have a look at the result. Well, the first thing we can say about the result, it's not numeric, is it? It's left as 5x plus 10. Now what you're looking at here is an example of what's termed symbolic mathematics. The last program we looked at in this video imported the SymPy module. Now the SymPy module allows us to do this type of symbolic mathematics. It's not designed to give us numeric results. And here you can see we've got the expansion of brackets, and you can ask SymPy to expand brackets. You can also ask it to differentiate terms, and there are many other things it's capable of doing, all mathematics related. But this kind of mathematics, the kind of mathematics you do on a piece of paper, where you're not desiring a numeric result. And all of this can be done inside the Python programming language using the SymPy module and the facilities it offers. So the Python int class, that's part of the built-in core of the Python programming language, allows you to do this kind of calculation within a Python program. In this video, we've also discussed the SymPy integer class, and we've seen variables of that type produced. And of course, that integer type is designed to be used with this kind of mathematics, symbolic mathematics. So hopefully this analogy will help you focus in on why we have got these two different integer classes that I've referred to in this video. One's for numeric mathematics and one is for symbolic mathematics.